Welcome to
Crazy, right?
A podcast
Be your own person.
for those affected by
Crazy, right?
mental health,
I wanted to just try it.
Crazy,
It's something that I've struggled with for a while.
featuring live improvised music
Now I finally got my head around again.
by your host,
am I right? Crazy,
It feels good to talk about it.
right? Crazy, right?
Dave Asher.
My guest today is Hannah Gray. She is a 25-year-old artist, musician, and soon-to-be law student who was diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder in 2013. Hannah, thanks for joining me here today in my studio. I'm going to step over here to my piano. It's basically a conversation while I'm playing piano.
Sure.
To get the ball rolling and to get my mind connected with your mind musically.
Totally. I love that.
What do you like to do for fun?
I love to read, spend time with my cat, play music.
Are you a songwriter as well?
Yeah, my bandmate and I write songs together. Typically, I write the lyrics, and he writes the music.
What do you tend to write about?
Usually relationships and love. That's kind of the theme of most of our material in the band. If there could be a perfect relationship, I'm in a pretty perfect one. I'm with a person who is probably the most patient and caring person in the world, which is perfect for someone like me who is emotionally volatile and goes through crazy ups and downs, and some would categorize as high maintenance.
Could you describe some of your ups and downs for me?
I could be dead right now.
When you say that, you could be dead right now, is that because of something that you might have done when you were really depressed, or something that you might have done when you were really manic and done something risky?
Both. Absolutely. I mean, there was no limit to what I could have done, and I did things on both ends, things that were so risky that I'm amazed that I came out alive, frankly, and then the things that I felt when I was depressed, the way I wanted to not live anymore. I'm sometimes even surprised that I didn't kill myself. When you look at the statistics of bipolar disorder, it can be a terminal illness. I've known people who are close to me, that for them it was terminal. But, there's the separation between the illness and who you are as a person. It doesn't define you. And I see for the people that I lost, I know that, it wasn't them that was the reason that they took their own life. It was the illness that tells you should. And so I guess for people who are struggling with bipolar 1 and are having these thoughts and having these feelings, it's easy to feel like you've lost or are losing who you are as a person, because it becomes something that is so overwhelming and that can take over so many aspects of your life. But you are so much more than that illness, and just, I guess, take it day by day, try to hang in there, because I know things can get better. Things have gotten better for me, so much better. infinitely better. And you can't make predictions for everybody, but I can't say whether it will get better for everybody, but I know that it can. So sometimes just hanging in there for one more day is the best thing you could possibly do.
And when someone is really down, and we know, you know, I know, professionals know that the answer is never to not hang in there.
Mm-hmm.
When you're that low, or someone you know is that low, what do you recommend as a way to reach somebody like that?
That's such a hard question. I think
What got to you?
I think it was my family. I'm so close with them. I personally have always felt comfortable talking about my mental illness, and I've never... I know the stigma very much exists for mental illness in general, and I know it prevents so many people from talking about it, but I've always been super comfortable talking about my feelings and about my mental health. So that's never held me back, which I'm so grateful for. And I think it's nice because I've been able to, just being like that has enabled me to help other people kind of talk about, provide a space for other people to talk about their experiences. Mental illness is one of the most intimate things you could possibly deal with as a person. It's in your mind, and that's where your identity is. It can be hard to distinguish the two. Sometimes it feels impossible. The pain I've endured and the strength I've had to develop to overcome it have shaped a lot of who I am. I think I'm very strong because of everything I've gone through, and so that's a positive thing to have come out of everything. That said, it's something I wouldn't wish on anyone. That might be hard to hear depending on where you're at with your relationship with your mental illness. I have framed it in different ways depending on where I was at. And now that I'm in a place where I'm doing really, really well and I've overcome so much, I think it's a lot. Once I felt like, oh, this is what it's like to be normal, like this is what it's like to be stable, now it's a lot easier for me to identify when I'm becoming depressed or becoming hypomanic. I can be like, okay, this is not stable, this is not normal, this is a separate thing than my stable self, my normal self. Something that my dad always said to me that I think was one of the most important things anyone has ever said to me is that it's not supposed to be this hard. If you haven't felt stable in a long time, maybe ever, it's important to remember, like, day to day is not supposed to be so painful. Like getting out of bed, feeding yourself, walking out the door, getting from place to place, it's not supposed to be hard. So if it's painful and it's really hard, it means there's something going on and it's not your fault. It's something else. And it's not you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you again to my guest, Hannah Gray. You can follow her on Instagram at ScorpioSphinx13. You can also follow her psychedelic rock band The Mixture on Instagram at The Mixture Band. And visit their website, www.themixtureband.com. Hannah, it's been a pleasure. That wraps up this episode of Crazy Right with Dave Asher. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider writing a review or rating this podcast. And of course, we would love it if you subscribe. I'm Dave Asher, and I'm glad to be here.